All right, so this training is how I make money using AI if I had to start all over. And that's essentially what we're doing here, right? We're getting started brand new, and we're on this journey. We have an idea of what's going on, but let's just say if I had to start over, here's how I would understand everything that we're doing, the process I'd follow, and ultimately what my daily actions would be to execute this, again, as a side hustle initially, something I'm doing on the part-time while I'm working my day job or whatever it is I have going on in my life, and then grow this into something that I can either I have the option to turn it into a full-time business, or keep it, and leave my day job and do this full-time, or keep it, but making sure I'm putting people in place to run it and keep it going while I keep doing it on the side, right? But keep it growing and making me more and more money as time goes on. And so let's just break it down from the beginning. If I had to start over and I had to make money, well, I want to start a business of some sort, right? I can't, it's easier to start a business than it is to try to get a raise to make the amount of money that I want to make in my life, right? And if any of you are working day jobs and you've looked at your income over however many years you've been there, it doesn't really go up that much, right? It really doesn't. For some people, it doesn't go up at all. And so if I really want to make money, I need to take matters into my own hands, and I'm going to start a business. And that all starts with, again, knowing what I want to do. But let's work at it from the opposite side. Well, who do I want my customer to be? Well, if I had to choose, I'd want it to be local businesses, right? Because one, they have money, right? People a lot of times don't have money, but businesses most of the time have money. So I want to go and have a customer. I want my customer to, more times than not, have money. So I'm going to work with local businesses because it's easy to provide services to them that they need. Okay. So they have money. The second big thing there is there's lots of them. Okay. There's obviously lots of people in the world, but there's also lots and lots of local small businesses. And if they have money, that's where I want to be. I want to be in a place where I have lots of opportunities with people who majority of the time have money to pay me for my services. So at that point, knowing who my customer is, it's easy to understand. It's easier to craft an offer, right? And so my offer in this case is I want to focus on something that my customer would need or want, right? It definitely needs to be one of those two things, okay? And ideally, it's both. And so the thing that fits the mold there is, now I call it AI built websites, but it's basically websites. We're going to use AI to build them, and I'll dig into that deeper. But in the end, my offer is going to be a website. Now, why that versus, say, a marketing service? Well, marketing services is ultimately where I want to take this, but I need to make sure that for the majority, like I want a high percentage of my customers to need or want the thing that I'm offering them. Okay. And again, I've talked about this before. Services, marketing services, advertising services, businesses buy those all the time. However, they don't necessarily look at them the same as they do a website. What do I mean by that? I mean, when you start a business, the business owner, one of the first three things that they are going to do is think about getting a website, right? It's going to be one of the first three things they do after they decide what their business is and what their name's going to be. All right. One of the first things they're going to start thinking about is getting a website for their business, right? Because that's just something inherent to businesses, brick and mortar businesses especially, is having some kind of digital online presence that pretty much signifies that, hey, I'm a business and here I am, right? Getting them online, and the website is, their primary vehicle to do that, right? Now, when it comes to marketing services, they don't always think that with marketing services. Right away, one of the first three things they're doing, they're not necessarily just thinking, oh, I got to think about marketing services. No, they're too busy working on their setup. Oh, I got to get this equipment, these supplies. I got to set up all this stuff. Again, website is part of all that. Marketing services typically are not. They're not going to think about marketing services until their business is fully set up. And I shouldn't say most, a lot of the time, when a business owner gets done all the setup and they're ready to open their doors, sometimes that's the first moment that they're going to start thinking about marketing, right? That it should be in their initial business plan on how they plan on bringing in customers, but a majority of business owners don't think that way. They are saying to themselves, all right, I can get this thing set up and I'm opening up my doors, and all right, yeah, people are going to just magically find me. There's a lot of business owners that think that way. And so they therefore aren't thinking about marketing services until they open up. So it's a last minute thought, and or some of them don't even think about that until it's like they don't think about marketing services until it's like, oh crap, no one's coming here, I need to figure out how to do some advertising. The problem with that is they also don't budget for it. They're not thinking about it, so they're not budgeting for it. Okay. But what they do plan is a website. So if I had to pick between offering a business a website or marketing services, if I'm going to ultimately start the conversation with one of those two things, I'm going to want it to be a website. Now, I want to make a quick point is I'm not necessarily going to worry about trying to find businesses that don't have websites. Okay. In fact, a lot of the websites that you sell to businesses, they will be to businesses that already have a website. But during that setup phase, a lot of them just throw something up, right? And so they use some kind of like GoDaddy website builder, or they maybe find Squarespace or Wix and they try to put something together. But in the end, there's a lot of businesses that they just put something up initially until they're kind of open and ready. And then that's when they start considering, well, maybe I just need to update this, or I'm not happy with the job I did. And looking back at it, I probably could use a better one. And so in the end, you will sell a lot of websites to businesses that already have a website. So I want to just put that out. Like, you're not necessarily looking, I don't care if they have a website or not, because if they don't have a website, well, that's an opportunity for me. And if they have a website, there's still the opportunity there that they want to redesign it or get something better. Okay. So again, it doesn't matter. What matters is that offer itself, the website itself. A lot of them value that way higher than they do marketing services. So that's what I want to start off with. And so what do I mean by start off? Well, I want to have a process around how I'm running this business. Okay. I can't just, all right, what do? I just go offer websites? Well, let me look at I want to have a full process in place on how my business is going to operate and make money. Okay. So in the end, one of the best ways to sell is using a process like this. And it's a results first strategy. Okay. So if I'm just starting off, right? Remember, this whole thing is me, how do I make money using AI if I had to start all over? So I'm just starting over. I'm starting from scratch. I have no like proof or case studies or any of that kind of stuff. I don't have any history. I'm just starting from scratch. Okay. Well, I have two options. I can go and say, hey, I could do this thing for you, and then convince them to ultimately try to pay me for something where I have no history. I got to handle those kind of objections and questions and finagle and try to make that sale that way. Or I can use a process where I can show them a result first. Instead of trying to sell them a result first, I show them a result first. They see the result, and then they make a determination based on actually having a result versus what I could do. I'm showing, they see what I can do right away. The benefit in that is it's a way lower friction sales process. I'm fighting people less because it's hard to have an objection where they say, well, do you have any history of doing this? It's hard to have that objection when I'm giving them an actual delivered product. Okay. So I eliminate a lot of the struggles people have that are just starting off in the sales process. And whether I'm just starting off or not, this is a process I can keep repeating even after I have clients. It just makes the sale much easier. Okay. So I have what I call a foot in the door strategy, which is results first strategy, where I'm going to go give them a result. Then I'm ultimately going to show them the result and say, do you want this or not? If they want it, I sell them that result. That's when money changes hands. And then I can sell them other services that they may need. Okay. In that case, it would be marketing services, advertising services to go along with the foot in the door, which is their website. Okay. So I give them a website, right? And then it's easier to pivot that conversation after the website to say, okay, hey, what are you all doing to get eyeballs on this website? What are you doing to bring in new customers, and you have a plan in place for that? Okay, well, I have options for that too now that we can build upon. Now that we got this brand piece, this your brand, your website kind of out there and done now, right? So it just makes it very easy and smooth. And so what that's going to look like is revenue streams, or revenue stream is I have my website. Okay, I'm going to be able to sell that anywhere from $500 to $3,000. Okay, that's going to be one time. Okay, and so why this price range? Because the average local business website has gone anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 over the last decade. Okay, now things tend to get cheaper as they go on, but people are still out there paying $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 for websites right now today. Okay, despite all the AI, despite all the stuff out there in the world, people are still paying this much. Okay, and so in the end, when someone's already paying that much, it's not hard for me to slide in the door with this nice price point, offering them a nice professionally designed website that looks like it's worth 3 times the amount I'm charging. Okay. So I can easily use this. And remember, this is a foot in the door. Whereas some businesses, this is all they do. So they're literally fighting for one sale to the next. Well, I want my business to be set up smartly. So that's why I'm not just settling here, or here, I should say. Once I have them as a client, I'm going to then sell them other things. The reason why is because they already know, like, and trust me, right? And now they're more willing to listen to me and buy other things from me. Whereas if I'm just new off the street, that initial interaction, they're just getting to know me. We're just now meeting. We're just now having a conversation. They have no reason to trust me yet. Well, then I deliver a product, a result that they then pay for. Well, all the unknowns are out the door. Okay. Now I'm part of the team, right? Now they'll put more value on what I'm saying to them. It doesn't mean that they're going to buy more things from me. And that's the beauty of this. My one-time offer, my initial offer, even if I sell nothing else, I'm still getting $500 to $3,000 per client. That's pretty dang good. Whereas there's some people, right? We have some services. We'll talk about services in a second. I might sell a service for $300 a month. Okay. Well, if I lose them after 2 months for whatever reason, I got $600, not bad. But my website, I already got 500 to 3,000 just right away. So I'm getting a nice chunk of money up front. So even if I don't sell, even if they don't work with me with other things, I'm still making some decent money, and I can have a business just doing this. But we're going to take it. We're going to take it to the next level. Why are you doing this? Oh boy. What is this? There we go. All right. There it is. All right. So we are going to have other services ranging from 200 to, I'm just going to say low end, 1,000 a month. Okay. And these are recurring. Okay. So we're going to have a variety of services that we can offer that will go anywhere from $200 a month to $1,000 a month that I can then tack on after the website's delivered. That's going to raise essentially the amount of money I'm making from each client. Okay. These will pay me monthly. Now, what kind of services? Right. I'm going to have a core group of valuable services that I can offer. In this case, it's going to be advertising services to help the business get more customers. Now, what am I saying? Core group of valuable services. Well, there's 10 million things I could do. I don't want that kind of business where I'm having to manage a ton of different things. I want it to be a small group of very valuable things that if they get these additional things, they're valuable to me. I can make extra money from it. It's going to help the client, but give them such a great result that I don't need to have a bunch of other services, but also makes it easier to scale. I'm only offering these things, right? So it's easy to rinse and repeat. It's easy to copy and paste. It's easy to make it cookie cutter. I can also then bring in people and teach them what it is I'm doing so that they can manage it and run it for me so I can be a true business owner and have team members, right? If I have constant custom work that's happening, right? Constantly there's 10 million different options that could be happening. That's a lot of training I'd have to go through with somebody to get them to be able to handle that kind of thing, right? So that means I'm going to be limited to how I can grow. It's also going to be limited if I'm also working another day job or some kind of thing like that, where I'm trying to get this off the ground. I can't have 20 things. I can't have a bunch of pots, right, out there on the stove that are constantly having to be monitored and taken care of. I want just a few. Okay. So what is it I'm going to focus on? I'm going to focus on I'm going to focus on things that are highly effective, that get great results and usually lead directly to money for the business so that they make money and they're happy to keep paying me money month after month. Okay. So the services I'm going to offer, right, are going to be message marketing. Okay. This is the number one service I would try to offer right away. And if I had to only pick one service that I'm just going to add on initially, it's just going to be message marketing. Message marketing is an email campaign and a text campaign combined. If you've ever been through a Black Friday season, which I think all of us have, you typically get 10 million emails from businesses with sale offerings during that time. Also during that time, some of those businesses also send you a text. That's message marketing. That's all it is. It's having a list of people and you send them an email with the offer in it. You also send them a text with that offer in it. It hits them in two different spots. It increases the conversion rate because you give them more opportunity to see the offer and take action on it. Okay. So it's a very highly effective revenue driver for businesses. And it's also very easy to set up. So that's something that I want in my back pocket to offer as soon as I'm done the website, because it's a way, and it also works very fast. So it's a great way to get a quick, fast result, kind of like the website, which I'll show you in a second, for that results first strategy. It's almost the kind of same thing with message marketing, because as soon as I launch the campaign, within hours, we can have, like within minutes, we can have people claiming that offer. That's how fast it works. And so within 24 to 48 hours, like that campaign's delivered revenue. And so that's a great way to kick things off. And anytime, again, I want the client making money because that gives them a willingness to want to keep paying me for that service. Okay. So message marketing. Another one that's very easy to offer that also is valuable is review management. Okay. Review management is just helping them get more online reviews. And all businesses know what that is and they know how valuable that is. Okay. By the way, message marketing, that's something I can sell for about $300 a month. Okay. Review management, that's something I can easily sell for about $200 a month. Okay. Then I'll have another service I'll offer that is very popular with businesses is lead generation. Okay. That's going to be Facebook ads or Google ads. Okay. Most every business on the planet is aware of one of those two things. And typically it's something that they are interested in talking about and getting. Okay. Benefit of that is, for me, it's about $1,000 a month that I can get for that easy. Okay. And then last but not least, another very valuable service for businesses, local SEO, that's helping them get shown higher in Google search results when people are searching for services. If I'm searching for a plumber, right, that local SEO would help my client be shown high in the Google search results and also be shown higher in the Google Maps area, the little maps listing area thing. Okay. So the more places that they're shown and the higher they're shown, the more in the eyes of people, the more business they're going to get. So and then by the way, that's about another $1,000 a month service. Again, you can get way more than that, but they're just easy, overly realistic, conservative numbers are right here. So even if I'm using very conservative numbers, these numbers are still great, right? Knowing I could also get more for these if I really wanted to. But this is how I'd set up this is my revenue stream for my business. Okay. So the cool thing is initial sale, $500 to $3,000. That's awesome right away. But the really cool thing is I have the opportunity to add anywhere from $200 to an extra $1,000 a month or more if they get multiple services to each client. Because if they get all these, again, you're going to have some clients that get none of these. You're going to have some clients that get all of these. Okay. If one client gets all of these, that's $2,500 a month on top of whatever I sold the website for. Right. So this lets me know that I'm on to something and onto a business that's going to be very easy for me to get up and run, because we're going to talk about the ease of execution of all this here in a second. But no, I already have great insight to see that I can make money and be very profitable with this type of business. Okay. Because I can have one client equal, let's just say, we'll take like a mid-ground, say 1,500 for the website. Plus, if I get 2,500 a month, that one client, what is 2,500 times 12? Over the course of a year, I mean, that's $30,000 plus the 1,500, right? So one client for the year, I make $31,500. That's from working for just one client. That's finding one business on the planet that gets a website for me for $1,500, and I sell $2,500 a month, basically sell my marketing services to them. Over the course of a year, I'm making $31,000. Some people have day jobs where they make this much money, but they're working 40 hours a week and doing a whole bunch of work. I mean, what's times 2? Right? What's times 3? Does $63,000 sound good? Working with 2 people on the entire planet? Does $94,000 sound good? Working with 3 people on the entire planet? Now, again, this is assuming they got all the services, but I just want you to see how powerful, how powerful it is when these numbers start compounding across multiple clients. Again, people getting a variety of services, and these nowhere in these numbers is any of this unrealistic. And another cool thing about this is something to consider is, they get $2,500 a month in marketing services. Right now, there are businesses hiring people willing to pay them $4,000 a month to do even just a part of this stuff. There's businesses right now, you can go to any job posting site right now and find job posts where businesses are looking for marketing people, and they're paying anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 a month. 4,000, let's just say 4,000 to 6,000 plus benefits to just post things on social media. We're looking for social media managers, people who do that kind of stuff. The services we do are literally direct revenue type services. And what you charge is a fraction of what they would pay to hire one person full time with benefits to do just one thing that you're offering, right? And so I want you to see how, like, if I'm starting over, this is the kind of business I want. I want something that's very easy for me to get started. There's already needs and wants out there. I have an unlimited customer supply, and I can set it up in a way where I don't need to work with a lot of people to make some decent money. Again, even if I'm just working with one client that produces this much money for me and I'm still working a day job, would you care if you're working a day job, but you're also making an extra $2,500 a month from working with one person that you do a few things a month for? Having that extra money, you see how powerful this is? So you can see how this is an easy way to just get started. Now, where would I find these people, right? So now I need to, right? So what would my process, let's see, step by step process to execute this one, right? Well, one, I need to find a business. Okay. To do that quickly, I'm going to go where they're already asking for help, right? Remember, I'm starting from scratch. I want to make money as fast as I can. Well, the easiest way to do that is not to just randomly go around asking people if they want a website. Why don't I go somewhere where they're literally already raising their hand? They have money and they're saying, hey, can you give me a website? Can someone please give me a website because I want one? Right? Makes sense? Very simple. There's nothing, no rocket science going on here, right? This is very logical and also very common sense. Do I go scream outside, hey, is there any business owners out there wanting a website? Or can I just go to a place? Would I rather just go to a place where I can see when they're already asking for help, right? Makes sense. Easy, simple. So that's what I'm going to do first. Okay. Then, okay, what I'm going to do is offer them my services. Okay. By doing that is I'm going to build website using AI to deliver a demo website. Okay. Then my goal is to sell them the demo. Okay. And then 3, provide the services. Okay. That's deliver a website, right? And then I'll essentially go back here and repeat the process by offering them my marketing services. Okay. But this is all I'm doing over and over and over again. Okay. Find a business. To do that, I'm going to go where they're already asking for help, offer them my services, which is essentially I'm going to build them this website and deliver it to them. I'm going to send it to them for them to look at. I'll use AI to help me with that piece as well. And then the goal is to sell them that website, that demo website where they say, yeah, I want this. Then after that, it's okay, what changes do you want to make? They say, oh, here's the things, the changes I would want to make, all that. Do those changes, deliver it, be done. Now, for me to do all this, I got to have the knowledge, right? Well, again, this isn't a decade ago where there was no, like, well, at this point, longer than that, but Squarespace, it wasn't all these easy little things. And it was nothing but like stuff like WordPress and direct code. And, WordPress obviously is still around, but it was very complex to do what I'm talking about right here, right now. It was very complex to do this a while ago. You needed to be competent in like code and like technical. You needed to be very technical. Well, that's not the case anymore because we have our new friend AI, which is smarter than all of us. And it also makes it super easy to really do anything today. It's just insane. But one of the things it's really, really, really good at is building websites. And what used to take us, weeks or months for some people, you can now complete in minutes by just simply typing and asking it to do something for you. Okay. And so that's what makes this work. Because websites are such a powerful tool, but back in the day, it was really hard to just lead off with a website, and you definitely didn't want to build a whole website from scratch and for nothing, right? And so this makes it really easy to do a results first strategy with websites. And that's the real kicker here. That's the real secret sauce, because while other people are struggling to constantly fighting an uphill battle with marketing services, we get to lead off with a way better offer, and benefit from AI to make it very easy for us to do that with little to no technical knowledge. Okay. And so that's why websites are a great thing here. But that's also why we're going to use AI in this process to make it super easy. Okay. So let's break it down to the next level. Detail breakdown, and then we'll demo it. Okay, we'll go to Upwork today, but there's other sites like freelancer.com, there's guru.com. We'll use Upwork because it's kind of like the Google of job posting sites, meaning when people go to search engines, more times than not, they go to Google. There's some people like, oh, I know I use DuckDuckGo or I use Bing or whatever. Majority of the people still use Google. Okay. So that's kind of what Upwork is. Businesses use those other sites to post, but most businesses go to Upwork. It's just the biggest. Okay. So we're going to go to Upwork. We're going to find web design jobs. Okay. 2, we will use Lovable. Again, there's 10 million other softwares that do this. We use Lovable. That's what we show, and that's what we teach. And it's very easy to use, very user-friendly. So that's what we're going to use. We use Lovable to build demo site. Okay. For the project. Okay, for whatever the project we found on Upwork. 3, we will use, in this case, I'm just going to say ChatGPT, but you can literally use any of these types of search or LLMs, if you want to call them that, to create a proposal. And that's it. Submit proposal. And then we just rinse and repeat every day. So another thing, if I'm building from scratch, and again, a process I'm going to use to make money, I want it to be easily repeatable. I want it to be simple, straightforward, and easy to repeat. It can't be something that I do it once, I got lucky in that process, but the next time I try to do it, I can't do it exactly like I did it the first time, and it's different. And then I had that one lucky time and that was it. I needed to be something that's very rinse and repeat, cookie cutter process that's easy to do. So no matter what's going on in my life, I wake up every single day, I know exactly what to do. And it's never changing. I don't have to say, oh, well, today, because today's, a Wednesday and it's not Tuesday, I have to do it this way. No, it's none of that. Okay. So this is all we're going to do, right? And we're going to look at a quick demo of this process. It's going to take us like 5-10 minutes tops to go through it. And that's the beauty of this. It's super, super easy. I don't have to think about 10 million things. It's very, very, very easy. I know my process every single day is I'm going to reach out to a business, find a business, right? With my foot in the door results first strategy, with the ultimate goal of selling them that, in this case, website. And then once they buy the website, in the end, I'm ultimately trying to sell as many of my other services as possible that will help the business, right? Some businesses might not need and or want any of those additional marketing services. Some businesses might want them all. And then there's going to be a lot in between. You're going to have some that just get one, some maybe get 2 or 3 or whatever. It's going to be a mix, but that's the beauty of this. It's just a process. I just keep going. And knowing that I have this smart setup and knowing the actual money that I can make, I can see really easy that it doesn't take many clients for me to start achieving major income goals. Maybe my first goal is to get $1,000 a month. Well, first time I sell a website, I might sell it for 1,000. Well, there you go. I just hit 1,000 a month for the first time, 1,000 in 1 month, right? But then I want to keep building upon that, right? The next month rolls around, right? Maybe I don't only sell a website, I sell a website for 1,500, but then I also sell message marketing for 300 bucks a month. So now I have that month, what did I make, right? I made 1,800 bucks. The next month, well, guess what? That 300, I'm getting that now every month. So I already start off with $300 from the message marketing from the month 2, right? And then I sell a website on top of that. And then maybe I sell another marketing service. And so it has the opportunity to keep and continuously snowball. And that's all made possible because I have a very simple process to follow. Okay. Very simple process where I don't have to guess. It's just rinse and repeat every single day. And by doing that, I achieve the overall goals. I don't have to think of, all right, what's my overall goal? I want to hit $10,000 a month. That's great. And I can have that long-term goal. But my daily goal is just to do this. I don't have to worry about the money because if I just follow the process, the money will come. All right. So with that, let's actually look at what this will look like. Okay. So in this case, we're going to go to Upwork. And again, there's other sites like this, but Upwork is again, it's kind of like the Google of job posting. So in this case, we're going to find work. Actually, let's do it this way. I went to work, explore recent. Now, of course, when I log in, this is going to be very easy to find where it says I'm looking for projects. I'm just going to come up here, look for jobs. And I'm just going to search for something very easy, web design. As you can see, there's other things. I can search web developer. Some of them will pull up the same things, but I'm just going to pick web design as a nice broad kind of description of what it is I'm looking to do. Now, when it comes to this, it's important to understand is I'm just starting from scratch. I don't want to get into complicated things. Okay. I want the easy, quick wins. And the beauty about this is when I'm using a site like this, for one, I already know every person here, like the fact that there's a project right there asking for help, I already know they want help. Okay. So I don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to find anyone today who's asking for help. Every day I will have access to people asking for help. And that's the beauty of this is every day there's new ones being posted. Okay. And actually, if I sort by newest, 2 minutes ago, someone asked for help, 4 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago. And so in the end, every day, there's always new jobs being posted. And every day I'm just going to come in and look at the new ones, bid on the ones I want, the ones I don't want, which is the point I'm kind of making. If there's something that sounds very complicated, like this, redesign homepage in Elementor. What's Elementor? Is that a transformer or something? I don't know. I have no idea. I want it to be so stupid easy for me to understand. Okay. I just want to see something where someone's asking for either a new website or a website redesign. That's it. Okay. A headless setup. I don't even know what the hell that means, right? A head. I don't know. They're paying $3,500, but I'm not even going to dig into that. Right. All right. Well, here we go. Website and logo design for digital media startup. Okay. So in this case, they want someone to do a web design for their business. Okay. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for. Okay. Redesign a website, all this. So again, like Figma, component, update, add auto layout, you might be saying, I don't know how to do that. Cool. I don't know how to do that either. And again, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the very simple, easy projects. Okay. So let's just see. All right, here we go. Website design for luxury Aspen clientele. Okay. Let's just see if okay. So I'm not logged in. Products, services, premier locations. Okay. Let's just say it's a ski lodge. Okay. Let's just say it's a ski lodge for an Aspen ski lodge. Okay. All I'm going to do now is I have a project. What I want to do is use my results first strategy. So I want to go ahead and build them a website. Now, a point about that is most people on here, they're going to be bidding on this and they're going to be showing their portfolio, right? Or saying, oh, I can build you a great website. Hey, take a look at my portfolio. Look at my portfolio. The beauty about this, the process that we're using is we get to skip over all of them, not necessarily in our order of the bids, but when the person who posted this, when they start looking through the bids and they get to ours, we're not going to be saying like everyone else, oh, we could do this. And here's a portfolio of something that I did. Here's something I did for a chiropractor. I can probably do something for you. We're literally giving them a delivered website, a 90% done delivered website, already what they're looking for. Okay. So we're already going to stand out in this process. This is why it's so powerful. All right. So let's just say, all right, web design for luxury Aspen clientele. Let me see if I can copy this without it trying to open. Let's see. There it is. Okay. All right. So I'm just copying this. And now what we're going to do, we're going to come over to we're going to come over to Lovable. Okay. So now all I'm going to say is I need a website built for for the following Upwork following project. Actually, need a website built based on the following. Okay. Sophisticated website tailored for, I'm going to change it a little bit for our upscale Aspen ski lodge firm. Showing our premium services and premier location effect. If I was logged into it, I'd get the full project and I would just be pasting the full project. Okay. So don't understand. I'm just going to change this to make it a ski lodge and make this easy for us. All right. So in this case, that's all I'm going to say. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, and I probably should have said Aspen, Colorado, but you know what? I can almost guarantee that it's already going to know exactly that we're talking about Aspen, Colorado, and we'll go ahead and build something for it. So again, the beautiful thing about this is I'm building them a site already based on what they're looking for versus, yeah, look at this. It's already putting together this awesome, like, hey, think this meeting this, like it's, cinematic hero. Like I don't need to know any of this stuff. AI is going to do all the heavy lifting for me. Okay. I'll do this later. I don't know a lot of the coding stuff and things it's going to be saying. I don't care. And I don't need to know that. I just gave it, it's going to produce a website for me. And that's all I care about. Okay. When I deliver this, I'm not looking for it to be perfect either. So someone would say, well, what if they don't want this? Or how do I know if I need to change? You don't know if you need to change anything right away, unless you see something glaring obvious. Okay. When we see the site, you're going to see it's going to look amazingly beautiful and already pretty much a finished site. And that's what I want to deliver. It's going to be a 90% done solution. Okay. When I give it to them, if they're interested and we continue the conversation, they will then tell me what they want changed on it. I don't have to guess. They'll say, oh, cool. Can we add our logo up here? And, I'd like this one section. Can you make it do this or that? Or can you add this button? Cool. And you know how I'm going to make that happen? You might go, Jason, well, at that point, it gets overly technical because I won't know how to do that. You will know how to do that because all you're going to do is copy and paste what they said, paste it in here and say, will you do this? Okay, here's the changes that the client wants to make to the website. And you're going to paste it in and do it. And Lovable will do it for you. Okay, so that's the beauty of all this. But that's what I want to show them is a site. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to be very close to what it is they're already asking for because I'm just taking what they said in the project and pasted it in there. Now what happens is when they see it, it's not like everyone else where they're like, well, okay, this person has a nice portfolio. I do kind of like what they did with this plumber site or whatever. Whatever. They're looking at all that, and that's what they're kind of thinking. When they see our site, they're like, oh, wow, that's exactly pretty much what I'm looking for. And here it is popping up now. They're going to say, well, crap, this is pretty much what I'm asking for. I love this. I'm a fan of this part over here. I'm going to just close the sidebar so we can see it fully. Look at this beautiful site. Look, in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. I already knew it was Aspen, Colorado, so I didn't even have to say, right? And it's like when they see this, look at this beautiful stuff. And look, there's learn more. There's all these extra sections and stuff already that the pages that are built. Look, I'm just giving them this awesome, like here's Aspen, Snowmass. They're going to look at this and say, oh, wow, I really love this. I kind of like how this does this. You know, I'd maybe like this part to do this. Now they're kind of dressing it up. They're envisioning what their business information and everything's going to look like on this site. They're already kind of placing themselves in this site, right? They're already kind of trying it on now. They can see it more clearly versus having to imagine what someone else might do for them based on a portfolio that has a, you know, a chiropractor site in it or something like that. And they're trying to envision what it might look like. Here, they're like, man, I love this. I think we'd put our logo up here. They're already kind of like making it their own. That's a better way to say it. They're making it their own. And that's a very powerful sales kind of psychology that we're using here by delivering them a finished product. Okay. Now, all that's going to happen is I would publish it here. Okay. And I'd get a URL. Very simple. I can change that URL if I want to, so it doesn't say Lovable. I can actually have it be a regular domain. But that's all I'm doing. I'm publishing it, grabbing the URL. And now what I can do is I'm going to come to, again, I'm using ChatGPT. You can use Claude. You can use Grok. You can use Gemini. You can use anything. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. Okay. You might have your preferences, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay. I'm going to come to one of these kind of platforms here. And then I'm going to say, I need an Upwork proposal based on the following project. Okay. I'm actually just going to grab it from Lovable. I pasted it in there. Okay. And then I'm going to say, actually up here, following project. Please, I have already built a demo website for them that I want to showcase as part of the proposal. Okay. And I'm just going to hit enter. And now what's going to happen? It's just saying, hey, I got you a nice high converting Upwork proposal. Okay. And then here it is. There's going to be a place to insert my demo link. And then it's even asking me some questions here. It says, hey, do you want a more, much stronger hook? Or do you want, I can help you create this, but if there's any changes that I see that I want, like, you know what, it's a little long for me. Can you shorten it, but make it very high impact? I can say whatever I want and get something. Okay. But I can probably more than likely just use what it gave me with a quick look, make sure that it doesn't say anything really crazy, and take this and then submit it. Okay. And the beautiful thing about this is this will also start building a feedback loop if I come back and update it based on what people say. So if I submit this proposal on Upwork, and then again, I start looking at other projects and do my bidding for the day, and then later I get a message from the ski lodge people, and they say, oh, we love this, and here's some things, or here's some questions. I can then grab those questions. I can copy whatever it is they said, come back to ChatGPT here, slap it in and say, hey, for the ski lodge website proposal, here's the response I got. And then not only can ChatGPT help give me answers to answer back if I'm a little unsure on how to answer, or if I need help wording it a certain way or don't know what to say, I can get that kind of help. But also by providing that back in, ChatGPT says, oh, okay, so here's what they said based on the proposal I initially wrote. Next time I write a proposal, I will incorporate this other stuff that will help deal with that kind of thing in the future so it doesn't happen, or addresses it early, or whatever. And then if I get a project, I can come back and say, hey, the ski lodge people came back, here's what they said, and they gave me the project. Same thing. ChatGPT says, all right, that's awesome. And now I know, here's what they said. I can incorporate that kind of messaging into my future proposals to increase the odds that we get the conversions early, that we get awarded more projects. And it keeps getting smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter. Okay. And that's it. That's the process that I rinse and repeat over and over and over again. So I'm waking up, I'm going to Upwork, looking for web design projects that I understand, that are easy to understand. Again, I'm looking for toddler level. I'm not looking to be some genius Einstein trying to figure out what Elementor is or whatever, right? I'm looking for very simple things that I can just easily do. And then this is the process over again. It takes minutes, right? I go to Lovable, get the site built, come to ChatGPT, get the proposal built, submit the proposal, and go on to the next one. And that's the beauty of this. It's so simple. I'm never lost. I'm never wondering what's happening. I know every day that this is all I do. And if I start tapping out Upwork, right? Because eventually I'll catch up, and the next day, so I'm looking at all the projects today. Tomorrow when I go, well, I don't need to look at the ones I already looked at, right? For those I've already submitted the ones I'm going to submit to. I'm just waiting for responses. All I'm looking at tomorrow is the new ones that have been posted since I was last there. Right? So it gets easier and faster to go through every single day that I can do this. And the beauty is 24/7. I can do it anytime. But once I start tapping out Upwork and I'm really caught up on it, I can then add Guru.com. I can go there, creating a profile. And then after I'm done my Upwork searches, I go to Guru and then Freelancer, right? And so on and so forth. So I can continue to add these platforms to increase the amount of opportunities that I have every single day. But it's always the same. I'm doing this. And then every client I close, one of two scenarios. They'll either just get a website, and then at that point, they are someone I can reach out to in the future to check in on to see if they're interested then in marketing services, right? They don't want them right now, but maybe later they do. And I can tap into them for referrals. Hey, do you know any other business owners? Because now I can tap into that outside of the platform, right? I can expand. I no longer need to wait for any of their friends. I can ask them, hey, do you have any business owners? Know other business owners, right? So they may say, oh yeah, you know what? I was talking to John. He runs a chiropractic clinic, and he's looking for a new website too, whatever, right? So I may get that kind of option with option one. Option two, I close the website deal, and then I close marketing services. Okay, so now I'm adding on reoccurring monthly marketing services, and they are also still a referral source as well. Okay. And that's it. I don't care about anyone who says no. I may have people that I submit business that I never hear from. I don't care. Every day I'm just doing this, right? And I do it over and over and over again because it's easy to repeat. And this can grow and scale however I see it. As I keep stacking clients and snowballing them, I can bring in other team members, right? To handle, what you see, I could have a VA doing all this for me if I really wanted to. But I can also bring in other people to help tap into other prospecting sources. If I really grow this, I can then start having people go through Google Maps and reaching out and cold calling people or emailing people or whatever it is. I go to LinkedIn. I can have a bunch of other prospecting methods in play, as I want to continue to grow this. But if I'm starting from scratch, this is the simple process that I'm going to use over and over and over again. And that's it.